Welcome to the Insights Tech Showcase session on knowledge management by MarketLogic today. My name is Olaf Lenzmann. I'm co-founder of MarketLogic and responsible for all things innovation and product. And with me today is Tim Birch, Senior Director and Solution Architect. And both of us will be talking today about generating insights for better decisions. And what we do at MarketLogic is, with our Insights engagement platform, we empower insights and analytics teams to turn their data and information into actionable consumer and market knowledge. That's what we call insights. And we help these teams to engage with the business users to bring these insights to life and to activate them in decisions for better outcomes. And with this, we help creating insights-driven businesses for our customers and to support our mission to help these enterprises to use their insights to gain a competitive advantage. Now, how do you do that? To turn your data into business value, what you need is an end-to-end insights management process. And that rests on three pillars. The first of which is you need to capture your knowledge. And that means you need to integrate all the relevant information you have inside the company, the information you have paid for through syndicated sources, through research, and all public data you need and you're interested in. You need to integrate that all into one place, into a one-stop repository, so you know what you know as a company. Building on that, you need to develop your insights. That means you need to take all that information and you need to turn it into insights that are tailored to the context, the situation, and that are actionable. And you can do that by leveraging all the insights you have captured, the information you have captured, but you also can do that by doing bespoke new research to find the information you're missing. And then finally, once you've developed the insights, you do need to engage with the business to make sure that business users satisfy their information needs with your insights and inform their decisions for better outcomes. So you need to connect the insights with the decisions to activate them and to bring them to life. How do we support that at MarketLogic? We do this by providing an integrated end-to-end platform that covers all these three pillars. We start with our insights ecosystem, which supports the job of capturing by connecting to your in-house sources, be it SharePoints, Drives, Box, whatever you have there, by connecting to industry sources, of which we have more than 100 integrated, by taking in the research you have commissioned, be it traditional research, be it agile research. And once we've taken that all in, we provide the insights and analytics teams with our insights workspace, which helps them to take that information and develop the insights as they are needed for the specific question at hand. So to speak, to take all the fan-in of information they have to condense and crystallize and synthesize the new insights required for the situation. And then our Insights Hub helps to fan out and to engage with the business users. First of all, by providing, of course, self-service capabilities for business users to go in and be informed, but also because business users have their working habits, they have established communication channels, they have tools they work with. We go through these tools and we connect through them to the places where they are and where they work, for example, through connectors like through MS Teams. And with this entire process, taking the fan-in of all the information and capturing, helping and enabling the insights teams to condense and crystallize and develop the insights, and then to fan out and support all the business users, we provide you with a scalable platform that helps you to satisfy the individual situational information needs of business users in a scalable way. And with that, I want to hand it over to Tim for a demo to show us how business users can go in and self-serve information, but also how the insights team can leverage the infrastructure to develop these new insights and answer business questions.
Thanks, Olaf. And so I think what we'll do now is we'll take a look at the platform and just try and bring some of that to life. So that process of allowing an insights team to support business users make effective use of the knowledge, I think really starts with the business user and how can that business user use that body of knowledge that you've got in the organization to help them make effective decisions. And so today we're just going to be logged in as John. So John is one of those business users that I've mentioned. And what John's trying to do now is he's trying to do some forward planning for 2022. And as part of that planning process, John needs to understand if there's any changes in customer behavior, maybe because of the pandemic, which caused them to plan in a different way, or for him to make adjustments to maybe the way he markets to segments. So the first thing John is going to do is going to log into the MarketLogic platform, and John's going to see a homepage like this. Now, one of the things that we get with MarketLogic is a personalized homepage based on not just on the role of the user, but also based on the way that users interact with the platform. So we can see two kinds of content here being proactively pushed at John. So the first one is the recommended. So recommended content, that is machine generated. So the AI is looking at the kind of content that John consumes and making suggestions and recommendations of things which John might find interesting. The second content we can see on the other side of the screen there, the spotlight. The spotlight is content that's pushed at John by the insights team. So this is where the insights team can support the business by pushing appropriate content out to the right groups. So different groups, different individuals will see different spotlight content there, depending on where they work in the business, or what is a hot topic for the insights team at that moment in time. Now, for John to do the planning, while the content on the screen there is interesting, it's probably not going to give him the answers he needs for his strategic planning. So John will need to ask a question. So one of the things that John is thinking about right now is the effect of the pandemic on his key segments. So he might ask a question here. How does the pandemic So just a question like that, how does the pandemic affect Gen Z financial situation? I mean, the first thing that the machine needs to do here is actually understand what kind of question is John asking. So there's some processing that goes on around the question to turn that into something sensible. And as John is a business user, one of the things that we don't want to do for John is just swamp John with a whole list of content and here's 1,000 documents that you can look at. So the machine here is really trying to help John understand the content that he gets. So what we see is a very focused view here. You see it says top 10 answers. So these are the 10 most relevant pieces of content that relate to whatever John is searching for here. But just showing you the top 10 pieces of content really isn't good enough either, because quite often those research documents have lots and lots of pages. So what we need to do is help John understand not just which documents are relevant, but where in those documents are relevant to him too. So if I just hover over this one here, you can see that actually this is a 25-page document, and it's page 22 of that document, which is talking about the financial situations of Gen Zs. So it's really helping John to get to where he needs to be in the document. And one thing we can do is if John thinks that that is a relevant piece of research for the planning that he needs to do, you can see John has a little notebook up here. And what we can do is we can easily add that. I can add that piece of content to my notebook so that I can then collect all the content I need, and then John can read that when he's got done his research and got everything together. Now, if we look further down here, there's a couple of other things in here. So this is a 234-page document, which is probably going to take a bit of reading by John, but the system says, page 158 is the one that's relevant to you. I could simply add that page, or I could add the whole document up here to my notebook so that I can take that for offline reading somewhere else. So what John can do here is he can use the search here to find interesting content. He can scroll through the pages in those documents. He can start to get a feel for what kind of content he needs to read to answer that business question. Now, as well as those direct answers there, or the top 10 answers, we've also got supporting knowledge down the side of the page here. So this, what we call this impact of COVID-19, this knowledge zone here, this is actually something that the insights team has put together to help people like John answer those questions. So we can just take a quick look at that. So this is a highly curated content created by the insights team, probably from several different sources of research. So John has access to all of that content too. So it's not just the raw research documents, it's also the knowledge of the insights team can be captured in here and exposed to John and the other business people in the team, so they can really start to understand what the thinking is inside the organization. So it's not just those knowledge zones, we've also got video content in here. So one of the challenges with video is that it's difficult to search if you've just got lots of video clips. So what Market Logic does here is, as video is loaded into the platform, we actually machine transcribe the video and then search the transcription. So the videos that are shown here are not just looking at the titles, it's actually somebody in that video is talking about the subject that's relevant to John. And if I open one of those, I can go straight to the point where that person is talking about that subject. But really what we're trying to do here is support John with all of the different information here: news, reports, research, any content that we have in the platform that's loaded into that funnel that Olaf was talking about. Any content that's in here, John can find through search, and the machine will show what's relevant. Now, as well as that relevant content, one of the things that we can get the machine to do here is to go one step further and actually summarize what we've found here. So the auto summarizer here will take those top 10 answers that we see in the main part of the screen and actually extract sentences from that to really help John not just find out which page is relevant in there, but get the key sentences extracted from those documents to really give value to that knowledge and information that's in the platform. Now, it's possible that John might find exactly what he needs here, but it's also possible that there might be some gaps in the knowledge, or there might be some information here which needs a bit of interpretation or is not really clear to the business user. And in fact, if you look at the summary here, the extract, there is, even though they came from the same document, there's a bit of contradictory thinking in here. So actually what John might want to do now is actually reach out to the insights team in the business and ask questions about this content or get help on the research that he's trying to conduct. So if we look down the report here, one of the things that we also show here is people. So it's not just searching content, it's also showing you who in the organization is an expert or somebody that's experienced in this particular subject area or the sector or the market or the product that you're searching for. So what John can do now is he can actually reach out to one of those people and ask that person for help in answering the question, or if they can help interpret the data, or if there's any other information in the platform that would help support John's thinking. So in this case, John's going to reach out to Hannah because John knows Hannah, and Hannah's going to help John with that process. So I'm just going to quickly switch over now to being Hannah, and we can see what kind of view Hannah would have. So this is Hannah's view of the Market Logic platform. So a similar idea that Hannah has her own personalized homepage, or the insights team probably has their own personalized homepage, but we show different content on the page to Hannah because she works in a different part of the business. She has different requirements from the content that she gets. So Hannah, because she's part of the insights team, is probably more interested in what research has been run, what strategic knowledge are we capturing. We still have this idea of the spotlight and the promoted content so that Hannah can keep up to date with what's going on inside the organization. But it's a different view, and it's personalized based on her requirements. Now, the first thing that Hannah's going to have to do here in helping John to answer this question is to collate a whole bunch of information together. So the very first thing that we would do is to look at creating a desk research project. So a desk research project for us is really it's just a way of collating content and bringing it all together in an easy to share format. So just for the speed and the demo here, I've got one that I created earlier. So I'm creating a container. It's just empty right now, and as we do our research, we'll put content into that. So now, as Hannah, if I go back to search, now what we'll probably find with Hannah is that because she's part of that insights team and is responsible for running the research, we've probably got some projects that we've run in the past which we can help John with. And Hannah kind of remembers the name of one that we ran recently. So if we look at projects, so if we look at something with a financial impact on Gen Z that John was asking about. And so just by typing in the partial name of a project here, it's actually suggesting the names of content in the platform which might be relevant. So that's the one that I remember, or that's the one Hannah remembers, the core segmentation impact project. And if we go to that project, we can see all of the content and all of the material that went around that project. So we've got the briefing document, we've got the final report that was created by the agency, we've got all the survey data, we've got the questionnaires, the screeners, everything to do with that project is all here. Now, in helping John answer his question, what I want to do is I'm going to go to the report that was produced as part of that. And so as that insights person, I'm now going to go through that report. I'm going to read this on John's behalf. I'm going to find out what might be interesting and relevant to John. And I'm going to add some of these pages to that desk research project that I just created. So I can say, okay, this page is relevant. Let me put it into that little desk research container. Maybe we'll also take this one. That page is also relevant. So we'll add that to my desk research project. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the content into this container in a way that will make it easy for John now to get access to that. So here are the 2 pages that I extracted. We can put some content in here to say, here's the key information you need. And we can add some more commentary here as Hannah, as an expert in this. I can say, and here's what I think, and here's how I interpret this data for you. But what we can also do, as well as just adding content from those projects, is Hannah's probably got some other documents which she thinks might be relevant to John. So in exactly the same way that John was able to put stuff in his notebook, Hannah's already got some things that she's collected in her notebook, and she can actually use her notebook now to say, well, I'd like to share that report with John. I think these things are relevant to John, so I will also share that with him. And so what I'm doing here, by creating this project, once I publish this, I can now share that directly with John. So if I choose John here, he's the person that asked the question in the first place, but I could share that potentially with everyone or anyone else in the business as well. It doesn't have to just be with John. If someone is asking this question on a regular basis, this could be a reusable piece of content, which we just add to the platform and people can find through search. Now, in this case, let's follow that train of thought. So let's say that someone is asking those questions on a reasonably regular basis. And maybe it's time I updated that knowledge zone we had on the COVID, on the pandemic, because it obviously doesn't have the core information that people need. Otherwise, they would be finding it. So as the insights person here, what I might do is I might say, well, based on the fact that that question's being asked all the time, I'm going to find that knowledge zone, the impact of COVID-19. I'm going to go and edit that and find the section that John was looking at. I can edit that very easily. It's very similar to the tool we saw before. Same kind of templated idea, very simple for someone in the insights team to drag and drop content or edit this. And when I publish the changes to that, that's then going to get added to that knowledge zone, and anyone in the business will be able to find those. Now, for people to find that through search, that's fine, but actually maybe it would be better if I pushed that to people's homepages and made it part of that spotlight so that it's directly there on their homepage. So it's very simple for me to actually use this, add to the spotlight on the homepage of John or John's team, or I can push that out to Teams, or I could potentially push that as a message on Slack, however I want to get that out into the business. But really, this is about giving the people in the insights department now the ability to not just help someone answer a business question, package the content together in a way which is easy for John to consume and easy for John to understand, but it's also about how can I use my expertise in the insights department here to put relevant content in front of the right people proactively, even before they ask that question. So we're capturing that strategic knowledge in the organization and effectively sharing that with the right people in the organization proactively. Now, just thinking out loud, that planning process that John is going through right now, it's highly likely that we'll need to do some additional research to fill in all the gaps in the knowledge there. So one of the other things that we can do in the platform here as well is actually run and manage research projects. I won't go through all the details because I don't think we've got time on the session today, but a core part of any platform like this, if you're going to create that environment where an insights department can support business users in helping them to understand what knowledge is available to them, is the creation of knowledge in the first place. Not just that curated content based on research, but actually creating the research itself. So a key part of this is also a research management tool, which allows you to plan and actively engage with agencies or DIY research partners to create new knowledge inside the platform. So hopefully that's given you a good overview of how those two parts of the business can work together, how the insights team can support the business users. I'm now going to hand back to Olaf just to round off this and talk a bit more about the platform underneath this.
Thanks, Tim, for the demo. I think that was really great to bring to life how the concepts in the platform work. And I just want to wrap it up now with why Market Logic. As you've seen, we provide an end-to-end solution to capture the knowledge, to develop the insights, and then to engage with the business to bring these insights to life. And we do this with scalable technology. We allow you to start small, but then to grow all the way to support the entire process. We do this with the help of our experts who guide and support the implementation and then the full life cycle as you develop and mature the system along the journey with best practices and their expertise. And of course, we do this with AI, with technology, and a user experience that is consistent not only on the web front end that Tim has demonstrated to you, but also on the mobile, also on other touch points like the Teams integration we've touched on. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention. I really want to encourage you to go and visit our website, to look at case studies, to learn more, and to ask for an individual discussion on how we can best support you on your journey to be an insights-driven business. Thank you.